Hello everybody, my name is Hocus Pocus and welcome back to the Minecraft Let's Play. This is episode 108 of the series, and today we are back over at Oasis, the village, and I feel like that's the name we're going to go with for this village because, as I said, I do want it to kind of be like a diamond in the rough, you know, like an oasis in the middle of the desert where you can come for water, you can come for food before you begin back onto your perilous journey across the sand, across the heat of the desert, that type of thing. So that's what we're going to go for here. And I just wanted to say, you guys, there is a secret below Oasis. So I've been working here, trying to replace the sand with grass, as I said I would, off camera. And this is what we found. So I was digging around here and the sand began to collapse. Luckily, I wasn't stood on top of it. I was stood just to the side there on the path blocks and they were spared. However, a bit of the sand wasn't, and of course fell through into this ravine which lies underneath Oasis here. And I thought that was quite cool. Maybe we could do something with that. There's obviously a lot of space down there, a lot of darkness, and obviously a lot of stuff going on down there. A lot of interesting stuff that we can go and check out. So that's how I wanted to start the episode, by indicating to you guys that there was something more to this village. And surprisingly, I guess it was surprisingly, right? Because I didn't know this was going to happen. Surprisingly, we have this huge deep ravine running underneath Oasis. And as I said, we could try and incorporate this into the build somehow. We'll have to wait and see on that though. I've been doing a bit of gathering, a bit of harvesting. We've got this sort of material now in our chest here. This isn't from trades, by the way. I actually killed a pillager. It wasn't a pillager, it was one of the guys with the axes. I can't remember what they're called though. So that's how we got a couple of emeralds there. We got a bunch of sand, of course, the acacia wood coming in. A few more saplings. We did do a harvest of the tree farm over there. And then as well as that, we've got the netherrack from digging the tunnel over here. So if we take an aerial view of the village, let's get up into the air. And now that we're in 1.14.1, the chunk loading is back. It is back, so we're good to go in that regard as well. As you can see, the grass is creeping into the village, starting to make its way across, and things are starting to look a lot greener than they were before. Of course, they looked yellow, which wasn't a bad sight, but the green, as I said, fits more with the theme of Oasis. So again, today we're going to be working on developing this place. What is this? Oh god, village generation, man, village generation. It needs some work because I don't even think I would. I don't think I'd put my worst enemies in this little animal pen here with the cross of water. Wow. Okay, so this needs development. But as I said, we're going to be working here today, so let's jump right into it. Oh dear, we had a bit of an accident. A rogue creeper suddenly appeared in my view right here. I'm sure he spawned out of nowhere. I could have sworn. Anyway, he exploded and took out a bit of our path. He took out some of our fence here and the lantern, but I've repaired it as good as I can. It might not look exactly the same, but if we take a step back, it looks fine. So the reason why we're back at the base, of course, we're taking a slight break from Oasis here. We need to bring a few things with us, so I crafted up a fresh shulker box, something I haven't done for a while, actually. So that's nice, I guess. And we have also got some other disappointing news. The llamas seem to have despawned. Oh my god. I really wanted to keep them, but it's fine. And we also are going to need some of this. So let's go ahead and take a few stacks here. Maybe something like that will work. And we're just going to craft up a bunch of fireworks because we're going to need a lot of those working over Oasis. And of course, we don't actually have anything to supply us with those. So it's best that we actually take some over rather than trying to rely on us finding creepers and, of course, harvesting sugarcane for this to happen. So I'm going to craft all of these up, chuck them in the shulker box, and of course we're going to be taking our Fortune 3 pickaxe with us as well so that we can start a mine or something similar. And I think the next step, actually, you might be surprised about this, is to go and mine some quartz. Operation Quartz Mining is a go. So here we are. We are over in the nether, as I said we would be, and we're just getting some of this nice shiny white stuff. And as I said, the reason for this is because we are renovating at the moment Oasis, of course, and there is something I want to try with the farms because, of course, regular village farms, they're okay, I suppose. If you're one of the players who doesn't mind too much about how builds look, they're suitable, they're fine, they don't look too bad, but I want to revolutionize them. I want to change this village for the good, and I want it to look like it has riches, you know? I want it to look like it's a place that people come across regularly. Merchants are often keeping it on their trade routes, you know, so that they can come through, trade their emeralds, trade their goods, that type of thing. And for this to happen, we're going to use some quartz because quartz is a very, as I said, it's a very It's a block that shows that you have some sort of prosperity, right? It looks like it belongs to the rich. It looks like it belongs to the wealthy. And that's something that I want to try and include in Oasis. So here we go. As I say, we're just mining some of this stuff out, getting our inventory stocked up with it. We also have this shulker box here, which is, as you guys might have guessed, full of rockets. So we're never going to run out of those guys over at Oasis. And I just wanted to make sure we grabbed it again. That would be kind of embarrassing, right, if we ran off without it. But we're probably going to move on in a second. We've got just about enough to get things going. It's easy enough to get back into the nether to come and mine more if we need it. So I think, as I say, we'll move on here and see where this takes us. Okay guys, so we're back at Oasis and things have been happening. Not very important things or very interesting things, but things have been happening nonetheless. So we're going to be crafting a few things here. First of all, I want to grab myself a stone cutter. And then I think the remaining 6 iron that we've mined from here will be used for a couple of buckets. And the reason for that is because, as I said, I want to get some of these farms sort of redesigned, upgraded, that type of thing. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, very nice. We've got ourselves some water, and that is enough to make an infinite spring. We'll pop our stone cutter there for now. Let's go ahead and convert our quartz into blocks here, because we're going to need some of this in a second to craft some stairs. So let's do that, and then finally this. Perfect. And is quartz used in here? It should be. There we go. Nice. So that's why we had to build ourselves a stone cutter, but we'll come back to that in just a second. Now we're going to take our axe and remove the border of this thing right here so that we can obviously place down our own farms and plant our own crops here. So just a second. There we go. And we'll leave these two in place for now and probably just do something like this to get rid of the water. That should do the trick. Pop these guys out and the end ones can now also join their friends in my inventory. There we go. Perfect. Grab the shovel and take out the dirt. There we go. And what I might do is just leave the corners in so that we sort of know where to put this farm, because I do want it to be in a similar place to the last farm. So there we go. We'll leave the corners in like this so that we sort of know where to go. And then from here on out, we're going to just craft ourselves some of the quartz stairs. And we'll have a bit of an experiment with what we can do here. So I'll probably just take a bunch there. 22. We might need some more than that, but I'll come back for them in just a second. So let me see what I can come up with, and I'll bring you guys back in to check it out. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Hocus, where are the quartz stairs that you said you were going to use? Well, I think we decided against that because A, it kind of didn't fit the theme that I was wanting to go for, and B, I couldn't really get them to work either way. So, essentially, I based the idea that I had off of a Reddit post that I saw a while back now, and I just couldn't find it again. Unfortunately, otherwise it might have worked out, but this is what we came up with in the end. So it's kind of a dilapidated look, right? So we've got the fence that doesn't actually reach all the way around the farm. We've got a bit of different grass texture going on around the edges, and I kind of wanted to include that just to fill in these areas where it's a bit too green, you know, a bit too much plain grass. And also to make it look like the ground has been worked on, trampled a little bit, you know, a bit of stone mixed in and all that kind of stuff. Because you can see that in the tilled soil, you do have these gravel textures going on. So it kind of works if you look at it that way. We do need a few more things. However, we're going to need to light these farms up eventually, which I'll work on at some point. We also need to maybe grab some lily pads to go over the water here so that the villagers don't get stuck in these holes. I haven't seen that happen before, but you never know. They might be stupid enough to do something like that. We also covered up the top here. Maybe we can find a different solution to that, because this guy who's staring at me really weirdly... Okay, you can stop now. You can stop. All right, he's not going to stop. But anyway, as I was saying, he stopped. As I was saying, he kept jumping up on top of this composter. Then he would jump down, trample the floor, and turn it back into dirt. So I had to stop him from doing that somehow. So maybe there's a better solution to that. But I think overall, this doesn't look too bad. So we've got the entrance here, as you can see, walking in, 2 water sources, then the composter in the middle, and then we're planting the crops as we speak. But we did need to get the crops down because, as I said, we're going to try and sustain our food sources using only the resources in the farms. So the quicker we have access to mass potato production, the better things will work out for our food supply. So I'm going to maybe think about changing this farm up to something similar. If not, let's work on something else, but we'll see in just a second. Okay guys, we're just wrapping up the second farm build here. I'm popping in a few of the acacia logs just to tie this all together, as I say. Where else are we going to go with one here? Maybe one right there will work. So let's do that. And then slab on top. Perfect. We also need to edit this, I think, right? Change the direction of that Or maybe it was already correct. I can't remember, but it looked slightly weird to me. But yeah, this works, I think. We just need a couple more slabs here to do that. And then we've got our entrances and exits. Of course, we've got our dilapidated looking farm. One other thing we do need to do is implement a bit of coarse dirt and a bit of gravel. So let me grab that. Coarse dirt and gravel, which are in very low supply for us at the moment, but that's fine. We can work with what we've got. Okay, so we'll go here, here, and here. And we'll do something like this, maybe. Okay, we've got a bit of gravel, a bit of coarse dirt. Let's pop another couple pieces in the corner here. So I think I'll do something like that. And then over here, I'll leave that green. And then in here, we'll go with some coarse dirt, I think. And then finally, right here, again, we'll go with another piece of coarse dirt. And that works quite well, I think. So there we go. There's our second farm completed. At the moment, we don't have enough crops to get it planted, so we'll have to hold off on that. And I think as well, what we should start doing is maybe wrangling some sheep and getting them into the animal pen over here, which of course we are going to change because this is quite shoddy work. Villagers don't have their best design mindsets in place at the moment, of course. But we will get a few sheep in here, hopefully, so that we can shear the wool and make a few more beds. That should allow us to have some more villagers who will then go ahead and work on things like the farm for us, which should just keep things ticking over. So this is the farm on the other side, of course, at the moment. Anything looking like it's grown? I think these are grown, right? Yeah, there we go. So we've got some extra potatoes that we'll just lay straight into the turf and just carry on allowing things to do what they need to do. So apparently Oasis doesn't have one secret, it actually has two. It appears there's an underground ring of villagers going on here that don't seem to want to be involved with everybody else. Maybe this is Fight Club, maybe this is the villager version of Fight Club, and oh no, I've just broke rule number 1. Villagers, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean it, but if you could come back to the village, that would be great. Obviously, I'm only joking. We need to get these guys back up if we can. So I'm going to just start digging them a way out. And this guy already seems to know where he wants to go, which is good. These two, however, don't seem to want to leave the cave, which is very interesting. And they're extremely lucky that nothing has spawned down here and killed them. So yeah, you guys are lucky to be alive. You might want to get back out to the surface. Can you spot the farms? There should be 4. If you can spot them, then well done to you. If not, I'll point them out in just a second once we've looped back around. So we've got 1, 2, 3 behind there, and then 4 right here. So we've added an extra 2 farms, and also we've got the Wandering Trader. So let's take a look at his trades. Anything interesting here? The Podzol trade's quite interesting, actually. If I had some emeralds, maybe I would take some of that. Aside from that, though, not very much going on there. The farmer's taken it upon himself to come and plant some crops in this field here, so that's nice of him. And then I think he also planted some in another field, maybe this one here. Oh, yep, he did. There you go. So they're getting to work, which is awesome. Just what we want to see. So there we go. That's 4 farms replaced. I don't think there are any more. I couldn't see any more from the sky anyway, and after all the wandering around I've done, you probably think I'd know how many farms are here, right? And I believe it was 4, so we're definitely going to go with that number and say that we're done with that. So let's get a good night's rest, and apparently not in my own house, because these villagers don't tend to stick to the rules about whose bed is who, so I'm going to have to try and find another place to sleep for tonight. But once we've got the night out of the way, we can move on to the next step in renovating Oasis. I think the logical next step for the village is probably to create a mine so that we can begin to access some of the resources that are going to make things a bit easier for us around here, because at the moment, of course, we are lacking a few things. We had enough to get the farms done, of course, because it was mainly wood, that type of thing. Very easy stuff to gather. We've got the acacia tree farm just over there, but soon enough, I'm going to start needing stones and maybe some minerals, maybe some iron, that type of thing. So I think what we'll do is we'll just go with the pit mine over here somewhere in this corner of the village. I think this works just by the church and by the portal. So let's clear a bit of land away. And then I think we'll just do a basic 5x5 here. So let me see. Where should we begin this? Maybe somewhere around here would be good. So let's just bring it a few blocks back. Start somewhere here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. And then we'll just dig down, straight down to the surface, to the bedrock levels, of course, down to about Y11. And once we get to Y11, that's where we will begin our strip mining, or our branch mining, we should probably call it, right? I think branch mining is the correct term. So I'm going to make sure that we've got this pit fully prepared. And then once we begin the branch mining process, I'll bring you guys back in and you can just check out what we can harvest and how we make things look down at the bottom of the mine. Here it is, guys, the pit down to the depth of the earth, where we will mine out the minerals and rocks required to make Oasis into the greatest village on planet Minecraft. Okay, so this is what we've got. Of course, we just got this spiral staircase that comes all the way down to level 11, Y11. You can see that on the left-hand side of the debug screen there. And at the moment, we're just kind of working on figuring out what we want to do down here. So I'm kind of just throwing around some ideas, sort of digging into the walls a little bit. I've got an idea of where we want to take this, but of course, I don't have exact plans. So we're kind of just going at it a little bit like this, as you can see, sort of just working away at the walls, trying to make things look as natural as possible because I want it to feel a bit cave-like down here. So that's what we're going for once again. So that's why things are looking the way they are so far. But now that I've dug the corners out, it's starting to take shape ever so slightly. It's maybe a bit misaligned in certain places, a bit unnatural in certain places, but we'll polish all of this out over time. So I think the next step maybe is to return to the surface and grab ourselves a few of the materials required to spice it up down here a bit. Because of course, I do like to mix in the other textures into the walls. So we'll have a bit of andesite, a bit of cobblestone, a bit of gravel, not gravel. Maybe some cracked stone bricks, that type of thing. So we'll head up to the surface. I also wrap this small fence around the thing as well, because of course we don't want villagers A, dropping over the sides and killing themselves, or B, entering through this doorway and making their way down to the bottom. That'd be kind of annoying. We've also got a food supply on the go, which is nice. We've got ourselves our first stack of baked potatoes, which I'll be eating for the time being. I think in here what we'll do is we will craft up this. Pop 8 coal in there, so let's put 5 from that stack, 3 from there, and make a full stack of cracked stone bricks. And then we've got a bunch of cobblestone hanging around as well, which we can use down there, so we'll grab some of that, of course. Got a bit of gravel here and there, we'll use some of that, and some andesite. Do we have any more andesite? Because that isn't too much. Take that gravel as well. It doesn't look like we have any more andesite at the moment, but of course we will mine some down there. So yeah, we'll get to work, see what we can come up with down in the mine, and hopefully we can come up with something cool looking, and I'll bring you guys back in to check it out. I'm just placing in the last pieces of gravel to complete the design here, and let me give you guys some light just so you can see what's going on, because it's a little bit dark down here now that it's turned to nighttime upstairs. So once again, we've got this similar design that you guys probably recognize from a few of the builds that we've done recently. I quite like it. It's a very natural looking design, looks quite cool, especially in something like a mine build. But I think the next steps now are to think about where we're going to put the actual branch mine itself. So let's get some logs out, and we'll take some maybe along to... so we want a 3-wide gap to work in, okay? So if we do something like a log going up here as sort of a support beam, then a 3-wide gap and a log going up there as another support beam. So we got 2 support beams there. Do we put a cross beam in? I don't know. Should we put a cross beam? 1, 2, 3. If we take this one out and test out the cross beam, does that look good? And then we could even have maybe the cross beam sort of poking out either side. I don't know. It kind of looks it looks too short and stumpy for me. So maybe we'll get rid of this one and do something like that. I think was right, and then do this and that. No, that one didn't actually have a block there, did it? It was just like that. So maybe the cross beam isn't a good idea. So let's get rid of that. But we do, however, want to start constructing the alleyway in which we're going to mine. So I want to just take out a 3x4 is this? 3x4 I think at the moment. 3x4 area, of course, this could change. Could get smaller, could get larger. We will see about that, however. And we'll just take it through like this. There we go. And then 1, 2, 3. I guess we can do another beam here as just another support type beam. And then we'll do another one right there. And what I'm trying to do is just make it look like work has actually commenced down here, you know. So we got some sort of construction looking things. Let's try this instead for the crossbeam. Maybe the orange slabs. Is that going to do a bit better? Yeah, that isn't too bad. I suppose that isn't too bad. Do we take these up again though, maybe, and have them just be slightly taller? I think that might work a bit better if we actually do this, and then bring our pickaxe up here. And maybe just take, oops, not that guy. Come back here, slab, thank you. Maybe just take our support beams 1 higher and then do something like that, maybe. That might work a bit better. And then of course we can just carry on doing the same thing over here as well. So of course we want to retrieve these, and then we want to expand the support beams, pop one up there, and then do a slab row across like this. How's that? Yeah, I think that's much better, because then it lines up with this area as well. It just follows through quite nicely. And then in through with this area is where we will begin our branch mine. So our first branch could be maybe, I think we'll take an extra layer out and do our first branch there. And we've got a cave on our hands immediately, so that's something we can go and explore as well. There's a few other things I want to do though in terms of design features. We need to get a floor in place, but I want to also do something like this. So I want to have a few stacks of ores just hanging around here and there, just to look like we haven't transported them upstairs just yet. Just take this as well. We'll do something like that. We've got a bit of iron. Is there anything else? We've got a bit of coal. We'll do quite a big stack of coal over at the back here. So let's do something like that maybe for the coal. And there you go. So we've got a few ores just hanging around that haven't been transported upstairs. We've got some barrels that I want to also implement around here for a bit of storage. They can go maybe just occasionally around the room like this. We'll just have a couple here and there. We can get one on top maybe like this. Then we get another barrel. Where else could I do one? It's hard to think. We haven't got a lot of space down here. I think for now we'll leave it at that maybe. So we've got a couple of barrels, a bit of ore going on as well, which is quite cool. And then of course the entrance over to our mine here. And then a cave, which I'm going to explore probably maybe off camera. I don't know. But yeah, things are starting to look up. I do want to create some lanterns to go down here, and I think that will complete the sort of theme that we're going for. But this is quite cool for a little mine over at the Oasis area, I think. Okay, guys, I think that's going to be where we will end things for today. So we've got the mine complete. Of course, we haven't actually done any mining yet, but that gives me something to do off camera if I get the urge to play Minecraft, which I often do. So expect to maybe see in the next episode that we've gone and done some mining and got ourselves some resources up together. But I think we did quite a good job here. We've, of course, got some farms up and running upstairs as well. We've got the mine open, ready for business. So if you did enjoy today's episode, then be sure to drop a like down below. That'd be much appreciated. If you have any questions, suggestions, comments, or feedback, pop those down in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to respond to you. And finally, if you're new around here, haven't subscribed yet, then be sure to hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned to this series and any other videos I decide to post. So once again, you guys, thank you very much for taking precious time out of your day to come and watch my video. I'm very grateful to have you here and all of the support that you give. Take care of yourselves, take care of your families, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye for now.